data provider annotation. So data provider annotation, and also let me show you data provider annotation. So you have TestNG. Yeah, this is our TestNG. Okay. So this is the all structure I have written here. So last class we missed this, right? You can see the structure also here. This is how our notes, it is prepared very well. Now we need to see data provider annotation. So what is mean by data provider annotation means? So data provider annotation means so it is mainly used for data driven purpose. You can do a data driven testing with a data provider annotation. So this you don't have in JUnit, right? We have only in TestNG. We have only in TestNG. So data provider annotation. So basically stores the data in the data provider annotation method. That data you can supply to your test method. So once you supply, so you can give a multiple rows of data also, multiple columns. But how many columns, how many rows? Rows is decided by you. So that test method, how many times you want to repeat? So how many sets of data you want to use to test the same flow? That you need to decide that each row one flow. Columns is basically your method parameters count. So in your test method, how many parameters are there? That parameters count is your columns count. So that I'll tell you how to do all those things. So the main purpose is, what is the purpose of data provider? It is used to store the data or supplying the data for a test method. It is used to do a data-driven testing. And so this annotated method is going to return. What is the return type of this data provider annotation? Object two-dimensional array. This is one of the interview question also. What is the return type of data provider annotation? Object two-dimensional array, where each object can be assigned the parameter list of the test method. The @test method, so basically, so which is going to receive the data from this data provider. So you have to map data provider and @test method, both you have to map. So to map that, you are going to use a data provider keyword. This data provider keyword you will use. This data provider keyword you will use. So public class data provider demo, curly bracket. So @data provider. So you see that how I'm creating the data provider. You can write multiple data providers in the class, not necessarily only one. So you can, each data provider you can put for different one. Okay, so each data provider, you can store different data. So that data provider, you can pass it to which test method you want that data, you can pass it. So that's how you can use this data provider. See that @data provider bracket name equal to name of the data provider. So public object two-dimensional array, method name, parenthesis, curly bracket, object two-dimensional array. So first you have to create object two-dimensional array. So the return type here you can see object two-dimensional array. So new object, rows and columns. So two-dimensional array. Did you remember the two-dimensional array? You remember two-dimensional array?
Yes, Ramesh.
Yes, Ramesh. Yes, Ramesh.
So that's what this one, rows and columns. So rows tells you number of times test has to be executed. Rows tells you number of times test has to be executed. Columns will tell you number of parameters in the test method. Number of parameters in the test method. So that is the rows and columns, how you can fill it. So object to two-dimensional array. So data equal to new object, 3 rows and 2 columns. That means what? 3 sets of data and 2 columns, 2 parameters. 2 parameters in your test method. 2 parameters in your test method. So that is the column count. And rows count is now you fill this data array. So first row. So array name. So first row, first column, the one data. First row, second column, that data. Then second row, array, second row, first column, username 2. So array, second row, second column, password 2. So, and then third row. See, all 3 rows you have to give the data. So array name, third row, first column, username 3. So data, third row, second column, password 3. Return the data. Return the data. So that is this complete. So object. So two-dimensional array. So @test bracket. So the mapping. Now, how do you know this? It has which test method you need to supply this data? You have to map, right? To map that @test bracket data provider equal to. So data provider name bracket data provider method name. So either you are giving a name here, right? This name, if you give, you will pass here. Otherwise, suppose sometimes people won't give this name. That time you can use this method name directly here. So either name or method name, anyone you can use. So public void login test string uname, comma, string password. So system.out.println, this username and password, these parameters you can use in your test method. So that is this @test means. So how you are supplying data? What is the keyword you are using to map the data provider and @test method? Data provider keyword. So data provider keyword you have to use. This is the mapping. So with a name, data provider name you are using to map them. So that's how you can map the data provider and the data provider method name. So that's all about data provider, how to do data-driven testing. Next, @parameters. So @parameters is, so it describes how to pass parameters to a test method, @test method. So you want to pass data from the XML file. So you will use @parameters. Above your annotation, you have to write and then specify the parameter name. Then you have to use in the parenthesis inside also that parameter name. That is a mandatory. So you will use a parameter tag in the XML file, and the parameter tag inside you have 2 attributes. One is a name attribute and a value attribute. So where the name attribute of the tag defines the name of the parameter and value defines the value of that parameter, what value you are giving for this parameter. So that is the @parameters annotation. So this is how you can give. See, public class parameter demo, @parameters, parenthesis inside, you give the parameter 1 and parameter 2 and so on. How many parameters? It's up to you. So that parameter, same parameters you have to declare in the method, @test, public void, test, bracket. So this is the string type, right? That's why I'm giving string parameter 1, comma, second one also string data type, string parameter 2. Is it necessary always string? No. It depends on what data you want to give for this parameter. Based on that, if I enclose it here double quotes, That's why we are passing the string data type. If I don't pass in double quotes, it can be integer also, right? So what data you want to pass, you tell here very clearly. Then these parameters I am using directly here in the body. So these values you are supplying. How you can supply, let's go and see that. So how to create a TestNG.xml file. So right click on the class, select a TestNG option, convert to TestNG. You have to choose this option. You have two options. One is create a TestNG class. Another one is convert to TestNG. What is the second option will do? It will create the TestNG.xml file for this class. For which class you want to create, you select that class and then choose these options. Then you can create the TestNG options. Okay, that's a TestNG.xml file you can create. So then you will give a suite name, test name, and XML file location where you want and click on finish button. So parameter values will be supplied from TestNG.xml file. TestNG.xml format is this one. Suite name equal to suite name, parallel equal to none. So test name equal to test name, parameter name equal to parameter 1, value equal to value of parameter 1. So parameter name, parameter 2, and value equal to value of parameter 2. So classes, so class name, so the package name dot class 1, class name package name dot class 2, and classes tag, you close the classes tag, test tag, and suite tag. Test tag and suite tag you have to write. So suite is ending here. Test tag is ending. See, above how many parameters we declared, that many parameter tags you have to write. For each parameter, one parameter tag must be there. Each parameter, one parameter tag, then attribute name and value attributes. So this value will go and it will be replaced here. So parameter 2 value replace and replace the values here automatically when the value comes here. So that is the how to supply data from XML file. Any questions here?
Ramesh, so when you convert the .java program, right, whether the existing program will be completely replaced or it will still be there?
No, you won't use any. Basically, you will create a TestNG.xml file. Why you want to convert? What you are doing first? Tell me. See, basically, first you will create a TestNG class. TestNG class is nothing but a Java file. .java file.
Okay.
TestNG class is nothing but a .java file.
Okay.
That TestNG class you have to include in the XML file. So here you are including your class name, which class you want to run. If you include here only, then your test case will run. Otherwise, it won't run.
Okay.
So this is the suite file means what? A collection of test cases, right? Collection of classes. So it is clearly saying classes. So you are mentioning one by one class with a class tag. Class tag means one individual class. So all the classes you mention, so those classes only will run. And this data you are giving for these classes. So this is the suite file means an XML suite file is TestNG.xml is a suite file. Suite means a collection of classes, TestNG classes. That's a suite.
Yep. Got it, Ramesh.
Yeah. So next @test. We know already what is mean by @test. What is @test? So @test is a, you can mark the method and class both as a test case. So if you write the method above @test, that will be treated as a test case. If you write class above @test, the entire class will be treated as a test case. So you can write for both. So like this, public void method test @test. So only test steps you will write here in the test cases, basically all your test steps. But the test has many keywords. So basically @test, you can organize your test cases, or you can group the test cases, or you can order the test cases. You can make the dependency among test methods. For example, in a class, you have multiple test methods. So which one you want to run? How do you know which order you want to run? So JUnit, we don't have that order, right? But here in TestNG, you have a prioritization. You can prioritize your test cases. Which one you want to run first? Even in order, no, the placement doesn't matter. So even bottom one also you can run first. That provision you have in TestNG. So that's the advantage with the @test. So keywords, let's see one by one. So first one is a data provider keyword. We already seen now. What is the purpose of this one? Just now we have seen, right?
It supplies data.
And provide data to you. It supplies data
Supplies or stores the data.
Data provider keyword. So this keyword is a mapping, right? So, okay, as you mentioned, data provider annotation will store the data. Data provider annotation is different, and this keyword is different. These keywords you are using for mapping purpose, mapping the data provider annotation and @test methods. So you are telling for a, so the test keyword is telling, okay, go and pick the data from this data provider name. You are mapping the name of the data provider for this test method. You are giving a name for which data provider this test method has to go and pick the data. So this keyword is used to map between data provider and @test annotations. So it will map these two. That's the main purpose of this keyword. See that annotation is different. This keyword is different. Are you catching this point? Annotation is all naming conventions of a class, but these keywords are
Method naming
Method.
convention.
variable naming conventions. This is the variable naming conventions, right? Camel case. See, @test bracket data provider equal to data provider name or data provider method name. Just now we have seen. Next, second keyword. These are all you can use these keywords with @test. @test parenthesis inside, you can write them. Depends on groups. The list of groups, this method depends on. So @test bracket depends on groups equal to the group name. So you mention the group name. So once you mention the group name, first this group will execute, then it will come to this test method. If this group is successful, then only this test method will execute. Otherwise, this test method won't execute. Okay? Are we good? Next, depends on methods. Depends on methods. The list of methods, this method depends on. The list of methods, this method depends on. So @test depends on methods equal to method 1 or method 2. One method also you can write. For example, this method depends on this method. That means first this method has to execute, then this method has to execute for you. So you are setting the order. Even you can set the order with the depends on methods also. So you are telling, okay, go and execute this method. If this is successful, then this will execute. Then what if this method name 1 is not successful? This will skip. This won't execute anymore. If this is not successful or any one of not successful, this won't execute. If both are successful only, this code will execute. That's a depends on method. That means this test method depends on these methods. So you are setting the dependency among test methods with the depends on methods concept. It's a very, very important one and used concept, this one. Next, always run. So if you set always run equal to true, so this test method will always be run even if it depends on a method that failed. Even so, if it depends on method fails also, you want to execute this code, then you can use depends on methods. So always run. Okay, always run equal to true. See, at the test, always run equal to true, comma, depends on methods. This depends on methods means. So that means T1 depends on T. I'm saying, okay, if T method fails also, go and execute T1. So always run tells you, okay, if this T method fails also, run the T1 always. So that is the one you are telling very, very clearly. So are we good? Any questions?
Yes. Can you please repeat depends on groups?
Groups is going to come. Groups is going to come. Okay. Group
Okay.
means what? Categorization. So test cases you will categorize, right? Smoke, sanity, regression, end to end. That
Yes.
categorization purpose you will do groups. Depends on group means a particular test method depending on the other group or smoke group or sanity group or regression group. It is depending on. That's the meaning of grouping.
Okay.
Okay. Next, description. So the description for this test method, you can give a description for this test method. So that's a description. You can explain about that test method. You can use a description. So at the rate test, so bracket a description equal to write a small description about this test method. You can use a description. So enabled. So whether methods on this class are so method you want to disable or you don't want to run, you want to skip. So this is the one you are going to use at the rate test. Enabled equal to false. If you write, then this test method is not going to execute. It will be skipped automatically. If you want to skip some test case you don't want to run currently, temporarily, you just write at the rate test parenthesis enabled equal to false. Then that test method will skip in the execution. It won't consider. That's how to skip the test cases. Simply write enabled equal to false. Then it won't run. Expected exceptions. So you are expecting particular exceptions by this test method. Then you will use expected exceptions. At the rate test bracket, expected exceptions equal to curly bracket inside exception 1, comma, exception 2. You can mention how many exceptions you are ignoring. You are expecting by this test method. Other than these exceptions, whatever you mention here, if different exception comes, then this test method will fail. So that's a very, very rare case you can use this, but so this is also important. If you want to, so tell I am expecting this exception by this test method, you can use this keyword. Most important one, grouping. Groups. How can you group the test cases using groups keyword? How can you set the dependency among test methods using depends on methods? How can you set the data provider and test method mapping using data
Test data provider is equal to provider name.
Yeah, so that's a keywords you have to remember always. So the grouping is basically to categorize your test cases. If you don't group a particular category wise, all will be considered as a one group only. So, but your manager will ask, run only smoke test cases, run only regression test cases. Then how do you tell that grouping can be done with this groups keyword. So at the test groups equal to, you give the group name. Generally in our testing, you will use a smoke, regression, functional test cases, something like that. Those keywords you will use here. But it's up to you what name you want to give for different test methods. So each test method you can categorize. Okay, this test case should go basic functional element, you will put a smoke. It is a regression means you will write a groups equal to regression. Like this, you will categorize. The categorization can be done with a groups keyword. See that at the test groups equal to curly bracket smoke. So that means this M1 method belongs to smoke group. So comma. So I want to write one more parameter, that is priority equal to 1, comma, one more parameter, description equal to. That means multiple parameters you can use in the test inside, the parenthesis inside. See, that's groups is a one parameter, one keyword, priority is another keyword, description is another keyword. So like this, you can write multiple keywords. So that purpose you can use this one. Okay.
Sir, I have a question on that expected exceptions.
Hmm.
So suppose we run and we get exception on that test. So after running, we are getting exception. So then we add the expected exceptions. So will it pass or still we have to fix the exception? Right?
So you have to fill that exception. Okay, so you should know, right? What kind of exceptions you might get. That exceptions you write. If you mentioned, for
I'm
example,
asking like after we are running, we are getting the exception for the test means if we include that exception after running in that test. So will it pass or still we have to fix the exception?
It will pass. You're expecting that exception, right?
So it will act as a try-catch block like that?
Yeah. So it is telling, okay, you're expecting this. If that exception comes, it will pass. If it is other than whatever you specify, different exception you are getting, then it will fail.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
you don't know which exception, you just don't need to mention, okay? Just leave it.
Okay, thank you.
Not a mandatory. So we can create a multiple groups also. So at the test groups equal to like a smoke, comma, functional. I can mention like that. So multiple, this method belongs to these two groups. So, okay. You mentioned all in your TestNG classes, you categorized the test methods. Then how can we run them? So particular group only, how can you run? So we have to create an XML file. In that XML file, you have to use include and exclude tags in the XML file. So include tag tells you TestNG XML, okay, execute only that group related test cases. Exclude tells the TestNG.xml which group you want to skip. So that's a include and exclude. Even include, exclude, not only for groups, even you can use for a particular class inside. Some methods you don't want to execute. You can mention. So class inside, methods inside, you write include tag. Okay, run only test one method. Exclude means you write a test two. So that means test1 will execute from this class, test2 will skip. That's how you can use for include a tag and exclude a tag. Not only for groups, you can use for methods also. Okay, so this is the suit tag. First, always a suit tag. Name attribute and parallel equal to none. Test tag, name equal to test groups. Groups. So I'm mentioning groups. Groups, run, include name, small group. Exclude name, regression group. So run this. Groups, that means this groups tag is ending. So run tag is ended. See, first inner one I'm closing. Then this outer one I'm closing. Then classes tag started. Okay, these groups are available in which classes? So test group demo 1 to 2. So class name. So this is the one. TestNG demo. This is the package name. And this is the class name. The classes. So test tag. Okay. Suit. So closing the suit tag. So this is how you can create the TestNG.xml file if you want to run groups. So mandatory, you have to create the groups. You know, this when you create a TestNG.xml, this part won't be there. You have to add this concept. After creating the TestNG.xml, then go and test tag below, you add this groups, run, exclude and include tags. Okay, so next, invocation count. So number of times this method should be invoked. So number of times you want to invoke, then you will use invocation count. You want to invoke this method how many times? So that purpose you will use invocation count. At the rate test, invocation count equal to 3. That means this test method will invoke 3 times. Success percentage, the percentage of success expected from this, but we won't use this anymore. I never use it till now. Okay. So timeout. So particular method, how many seconds it is going to time out. So you don't want to execute more than this many seconds. So if it crosses this many seconds, you can tell that, okay, exit. Maximum number of milliseconds this test is going to take, that you can mention. So that means that many seconds it will wait. At the rate test, timeout equal to 3000. That means you're telling, okay, this method should finish within these 3 seconds only. If it is not finishing, this test method will fail. That's a timeout concept. Basically, you have 2 test methods. So first test, this method, it has to finish 3 seconds, then next method has to pick up. So that case, you can mention. So this many seconds you wait and it has to finish and further execute the next test method. That you can tell very clearly. Thread pool size. So the size of the thread pool for this method. So how many threads you want to invoke. So when you're using invocation count, you can use thread pool size also in your XML file. That purpose you will use thread pool size. Basically, maximum instances you want to launch. That time you will use thread pool size. You have to mention in the XML file thread pool size 5 or 5. Maximum 5 will be there. So the 5 will be invoked, not more than that. So priority. So you can prioritize your test cases. So lowest priority will be scheduled first. So for example, at the rate test priority equal to 1. That means this T1 will execute first. Then at the rate test priority equal to 2. L1 will execute second. First T1 will execute, then L1 will execute. So this is order. It doesn't matter. See now T1 is alphabetical order last, right? First L1 will come. If you don't use priority, what will happen? First L1 will execute, then T1. But I don't want like that. So what I'm doing first, I'm saying, okay, T1 I want to execute. That's why I've set the priority. Then L1, I set the priority to 2. So this is the priority, how to set among test methods. So based on the, generally if you don't give priority, it will run on alphabetical order of your method name. If you give priority, then it will run on the lowest priority, which one that will execute first. Are we good? Any questions here? So how to specify the particular class methods using include and exclude tag? That's what I told right just now. You can use include and exclude tags not only for groups, you can use for the class inside for methods also. Which methods you want to include in the execution, which methods you want to exclude in the class, that you can mention here. Classes, then class tag, class name equal to test dot, this is the class name. In this class, methods, okay, the class inside only you have methods. So methods, okay, which method you want to include? Include name, test method, exclude name, test2 method. So that is the include and exclude tag, then close the methods tag, then close the class tag, then next class. So you include the next class. So this part is complete one class. That class inside methods I'm telling, okay, run only test method, not test2 method. This is how I can control with include and exclude tags. So that's all about this one. And what is the purpose of reports? Why do you need, what is the importance? Why do you need reports? So reports are used to tell how many test cases are passed, how many test cases are failed. How many test cases are passed, how many test cases are failed. It will tell you very clearly. So then next one is how much time it is taking to execute total test suite. So that also you can mention, or you can get the data using these reports. So you can share these automation reports with your team or with your client, with any of your team members or your managers also. That's the purpose of this reports in TestNG. So direct Selenium doesn't have a reporting capability. TestNG is giving a provision for Selenium. So it is giving a reports. There are 3 types of reports. Basically, test output folder will generate in your project root directory. Under that directory, you can find default test.html file, emailable-report.html file, index.html file. These are the 3 files will be generated under this test-output folder. Below, you can find these 3 reports. So HTML reports, you can open this HTML file, you can see the status of each test case, pass or fail or skip the, what is the, so which class, which test, so this is available. Everything clear instructions will be given. If any failure occurs, the failure stack trace also will be shown to you. So that's the advantage of these reports. And next concept is, okay, how to run your classes parallelly, your tests parallelly, your methods parallelly. So this is one of the interview question also. So parallel methods, if you want to run parallel methods, you have to write. So parallel equal to methods. So you will write parallel equal to methods. If you want to run classes parallelly, you have to write suit tag inside, name attribute, and parallel attribute is there. Parallel equal to classes. Thread count 5. So this is the thread count. So where you're mentioning thread pool size, right? This is the thread count you're mentioning, maximum 5. So this, if you have multiple classes in the classes tag, so 5 classes will launch in the given browser. So each class in one browser instance, not now, for example, you have 5 classes. Each class one Firefox browser, another Firefox browser, another 5 Firefox browsers will launch. Each class will run on each browser instance. So all parallelly will run. You know, there is no dependency. So that's a parallel execution means. And parallel test means, so as I mentioned, no, I don't know whether I explained in the beginning class day, we saw that suit tag inside you have a test tags, multiple test tags. So that test tags you want to run parallelly, then this is the option you have to write in the suit tag. Parallel equal to test. So mainly this is used for cross-browser testing purpose. Cross-browser means you want to run in different browsers. So few test cases on the Chrome, few test cases on the Firefox, few test cases on the Edge browser. How many browsers you want? That many test tags you include in the suit tag inside. Then each test tag inside you mention your classes, which classes you want to run on that browser. Then you can run parallelly. So that's the parallel execution, how we can do. So that's all about. And questions also I have given some of the questions. Next, so how to set the preserve. So preserve order is nothing but, for example, you're mentioning multiple classes here, right? Same order the TestNG has to pick and execute. Whatever the order you mentioned, first fetch results, then local testing, then Gmail, it has to execute in the same order. Then you write preserve order equal to preserve hyphen order equal to true or false, you can specify. True if you specify, same order will run. False you specify, it won't pick up order. It will pick up its own order. So that's the how you can preserve the order. So on the given class order. So there are TestNG assertions. We have seen JUnit assertions class is there. Then assert equals to assert true we have seen. But here there is an assert class, not assertions class. Assert, A-S-S-E-R-T, assert class. In that you have a assert equals and assert true. These are the methods you have them. So these methods you are going to use. Assert equals means you have to use expected and actual value. Assert true, you will use a Boolean commands. And these are the different methods we are going to use. And again, so in the assertions, you have a soft assertions, hard assertions. So you have a soft assert class, hard assert class. So these are the hard assertions only. These are hard assertions, but soft assert class is there. Soft assert class, you create object, then you call soft assert dot assert true or assert equals. But at the end of the method, you have to call soft assert dot assert all. Then what is the difference between hard assert and soft assert? This is another interview question. Soft assert will execute till the end of the code. Even the failure occurs, any one of the assertion failed also, it will continue till the end. It won't stop in the middle. And at the end, you are calling assert all, right? The assert all will assert how many assertions you have given, which assertion failed, that will report in the log. That's a soft assert. But a hard assert, test will fail immediately and it stops the execution on the same line. That's the difference between soft assert and hard assert. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so that's all about TestNG. So just go through this. Okay, so how can you run failed test cases? You have a automatically in the test output folder, one TestNG-fail.xml file will generate. TestNG-fail.xml file will generate. That file, it will include which classes failed. So those classes will mention like this. So that's how you can run the, so you correct the test case, then you right click and run as a TestNG suite. It will run automatically. So that's the main concept of this TestNG. And why it is this? Okay, these are the interview questions. Just go through these interview questions and it will help you. Okay. Any questions before just we'll jump on to let's go and create a simple data provider annotation. So quickly, and I'll show you that. Okay, I'll create a new package here entirely. So new package. Let me create a new package. Package TestNG programs. So I'm creating the TestNG class. How to create TestNG class? Right click. So you have a TestNG option, create TestNG class. So I'll take a Google data driven test. So take all the annotations, but I'm not executing all of them, but just taking all of them. See that? So why it is throwing error? Just add the TestNG library, like how we added JUnit library. So first time you are creating a TestNG program, so you add the TestNG library. Mouse over here, add a TestNG library. That's it. Then these errors will be resolved. All TestNG code is available in this library. So those will be recognized automatically. See that? You have a test annotation, you have a before method, you have a after method, you have a data provider annotation, you have a before class, after class, before test, after test, before suit, after suit. But here, so we have a logger, automatically logger is there. Like a system.out.println we have, right? To print anything. So you want to print your messages to the log. There is a static method, log method is there, which is available in the reporter class. So reporter dot log. See, you can see overloaded this static method. String yes, boolean log to standard out. What is meant by that? Log to standard out. That means to console, your console. Print that to console also. That you are giving a true or false. So the message, I am saying message. So I'm giving it true. I want to print it to console also. So I'm saying inside before suit. Just we are mentioning this So then write what you want to write. So before suit annotation will execute before any test inside the suit file. So this annotated method, this method will execute before suit. That's it. So I don't want to write any much here, but I'm just putting some statements here. So after suit means a suit before. This is a, I'm inside the after suit. So after suit. So this method will execute after suit. After suit. So that's it. And mention whatever you want here also. I'm just mentioning. So so before test, right? You mentioned test. So this method will execute before test tag inside test methods. So this method will, this is the after, right? This after suit. So after test. So we want after test. So this method will execute after test. After test tag at the test methods. Okay, so that's how you can write your messages, but so I'm just putting some standard ones. Quickly we'll finish. We have a less time, right? Let's finish quickly. We have written already Google search, right? So that's Google search I'm going to use. So let's put this code already, whatever the existing code where we have written Google search. We didn't write. Written. Okay, we haven't written the second one. So open cart we have written. Okay, anyhow, let me write a Google one, okay, quickly. So Webdriver, but I have to again declare, so global variable. You have to declare global variable. New Chrome driver. So this is mandatory. You have to declare a global variable. So import this first. First step you have to do here is, so private Webdriver driver. Why I'm not declaring static?
Here all are non-static methods.
Things, so that's why I don't want static. So Webdriver wait. I think we can take from anywhere. Already we have written code, right? This code and all this code. So I'll put all this inside the here. So where is that? Oh, this one. So this we don't want all these things. So I can add. So you can write this launching the Chrome browser, something reported.log. So I add implicit wait also. adding implicit wait. Then, so you know already code, driver dot manage method dot timeouts method dot
Implicitly
wait of duration, right?
Yes,
Duration of
Duration dot of seconds. So I'm putting 10 seconds. So same way, adding the explicit wait. The explicit wait. So wait equal to new driver
wait.
wait. And you just add
Driver,
driver comma
Duration of
seconds.
seconds or
seconds.
millis.
Millis you want? So let's take millis then. That's it. I don't want to add extra here. Okay. If you want to add delete the cookies, delete the cookies. Just we're deleting the cookies, you can do that. Even before opening the browser also you can do that, right? Okay, if we are not opening the browser here, I'll just delete all the cookies.
manage method dot delete cookies.
That's it. So after class means, so you can just, so what you want to do? After class, just close the browser. Reporter dot log. So close the browser. Sorry, true. Driver is not null.
Driver not quit.
Quiet.
Driver dot quit. That's it, over. So after method and before method, it's up to you, but let me see this. So what you can do here. So I'll give a data. Remove all this. I'll put object to two-dimensional array. So data equal to new object to two-dimensional array. So just, so I'm going to give one parameter, 3. So 3 iterations I want. So first row. So data of 0, 0. So basically I'm searching the keywords I'm writing here in the Google. Okay, so I'm searching. So 1, 0. So cucumber. So data
2 0.
0. Cypress. Okay. So these are the 3 rows. This is the second row. The third row. Okay, so that's the way I stored the data in the data provider annotation. So before method, so I'll just open the URL. Okay, reporter.log. Open the URL. So driver dot get off
Google.
HTTPS google.com. So then I'll put assertions. So first I'll wait. Okay, let's wait. Wait dot until
Expected condition.
The conditions.
expected conditions.
Dot
Dot title.
Title contains.
A title is or a title contains, it's up to you. Just Google. So then asset. Asset dot asset equals. So you write. So asset equals driver dot get title. So that will give you the actual application title and what you are expecting here.
Google.
Google.
So I'm expecting Google.
Google.
But actually, in your blog, you mentioned expected and then actual. Is it
It doesn't matter. Anything is fine.
anything is fine?
Yeah. So why it is okay? See, it is JUnit. It is showing. Just you have to be careful while importing. Okay. Asset is a TestNG one. Okay. arg.testng. From arg.testng import it. Then it won't give any troubles to you. Okay. So every time, every test method, first it has to launch. Then so verify this page title. That's what I mean. And then I will ask clear the log, clear the cookies. Maybe I can write here also one more time. Driver dot. So manage method dot delete all
Delete all
cookies.
cookies.
Okay, my test method now. Test method exactly. So what we'll do first? So let's give a name, proper name, search test. So I have only one parameter. So I need just a string only. But this, what is the data provider name? The method name? So DP. I'm just giving the same name here. Okay. So reporter dot log. So started search test for keyword. What is the keyword? Yes. True. So reporter dot log. Search. Now type right. Type the keyword. Type the keyword in search edit box. True. So you want to write a keyword, you write a keyword here. What is the keyword? Yes, is the keyword. So that driver dot find element. So by dot name is there. So name is a very easy one. I'll write a name Q. So dot send keys of how to write a parameter.
Yes.
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 Just yes, you have to write. So now press the enter key or submit. Which one you want to use? Enter key or submit button?
Enter key.
Press the enter key on search edit box. How to do that? Same.
Driver.
So here you have to write
Center.
is dot. That's it. So now you will get a search results, right? You do manually do that. Okay. So don't blindly go. So manually you do that. What you are doing? See Google title. I'm typing Selenium. So now what is the title? You have to wait. See, it is taking some time. You have to wait for this page title. You have to wait for this text, all this. So that's what you need to do. That I am going to do. Wait. So wait dot until expected conditions. So dot title
Contains.
contains or title is, which one you want to use?
Title is.
Title is.
let's use title is. See that? So can you observe this page title, how it is? So you need to parameterize here your title. So how to parameterize title, you need to understand here. See that? So if you are typing Selenium, Selenium is coming. If you type different one will come. So that here you need to typecast it. Sorry, not typecast, parameterization. See how I am writing that. So what I'm doing, this part I'm keeping as it is, plus double quotes. And this one. So what I'm doing, the yes, whatever you give value, that will come here. So that's the how I am parameterizing. So this is how you need to parameterize the titles. So then I will wait for the wait dot until expected conditions dot presence of element located. So by dot ID value. Just get this ID value. So what is this ID value? So result stats. So then get that text. Okay, reporter dot log. Fetch the results text. So string txt equal to driver dot find element by dot css hash id value dot
Get text method.
get text. Done. Okay, you got the text. So if you want print the text. So fetch results text. Results text is plus txt.
TXT.
So now you got the text like this. Okay, string txt equal to, you're getting this text. So what is that text? What is the text you are getting? This one. So this entire thing you are getting.
About.
This entire thing you are getting. So this one you need to get only that one. So this number you need to get. This number is not a number now. First it is a string. So this entire thing is a string, right? Double quotes, a string. So this you need to extract. How can you extract that? You have to apply the string array str equal to txt dot
Split method. Spaces.
So you give the space view split. So double slash is basically say space, regular expression, that one. Now you got all of them into so array. So str array. So in this array you will get it. See that wherever space is there, that will separate as a separate element in the array. Now, which element you want, you can easily get from array, right? That's so easy for you, right? How can you get?
String S1 is equal to str of 1.
That's it. So you print that. I'm just directly printing results count. Results count text is. So I'm not saying still results number. Results count. Why I'm saying? Because It's a still string only, str of 1. Now str of 1 I need to print. So str of 1 I'll convert the str of 1 into number. How can you convert that? See, because here these commas are there. If you convert straight forward, it will give you an error. First, you have to remove this commas. How can you remove the commas?
Dot split within double quotes comma we have.
No.
Replace.
Replace method you have to use. Replace the comma with the white space, without space,
Okay.
empty. So we
Okay.
have to get another string. String s1 equal to str of 1 dot.
Replace
Which one you want to replace? Comma
comma
with blank. without
within
any
double
space.
quotes. Okay.
So that
Simple.
dot trim it. So any spaces are there, the spaces also will go away. So this is how you can. Now you convert into long. Convert the string into long format. How can you convert the string into long format?
Long
Long.
dot pass long.
So long this value count number equal to long dot
Long
parse
dot
long.
parse
Parse
long.
long.
S1. That's it. So this is the how you can write the code. So you can print. So for which this count is for which element? Results count for the keyword, set keyword is. You can put this. That's it. See here also you will get your search whatever the keyword it is coming here. So this is the how you can write the code. So let's go and run this program. How can you run this? Go to here, right click, run as TestNG test. See before test, so launching the Chrome browser. Cypress. That's a data driven. See, you can see here 3 times the same test executed. You can find out the Cypress, this count. For Cucumber, this is the count. For Selenium, this is the count. So that's how you can do data driven testing with this one. Okay, that's all for the day. And we can see